through sensors, through data, through software, urban governance is shifting. Another area which is our favorite area is used water management. Increasingly, we have mandated now that 20% of the used water
must be sold and should be used, and more investment is going on the used water management, particularly for a very important for a water scarce country like India. Managing public spaces where people can interact, people can live their life, and the good places is another focus area for us. Transportation is a very, very important area because in climate change, I think in urban areas, the biggest contributor is transportation, and increasing public transport, particularly on metro rail side. We have done a lot of work. India is now has the fourth largest metro rail network in the world, and I think in few months' time it will be third largest metro rail network. And all the metro rails being made in India and entire technology coming to India. So that's another area we have done tremendous work. Climate change is offering huge challenges to us, to around the world, to in India. Increasing concentrated rainfall, changing pattern of rainfall leading to urban flooding is something people in India are experiencing, and I'm sure around the world cities are experiencing this. And that is a big challenge. We need to work together to find solutions to that, to increase our retention capacity of water bodies, our channels, and redesign the cities so that the urban flooding phenomena we can manage. All of this requires capacities in the cities and finance. We need to work on increasing finance for our cities. Climate finance, we have talked a lot. We have talked a lot about green bonds. I think we need to make it more operational so that cheaper finance is available to cities to work on the climate issues. We look forward to work by mayors in U20 so that cities' capacities and cities' finances improve. We work with each other and make the world a better place, a far sustainable place. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for providing your deep insight on India's thinking and approach towards effective urban management. Thank you. I now invite Shri Abhay Thakur, Su Sherpa G20, to deliver the keynote address on the convergences between the G20 and U20 actionable agenda.
Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, Honorable Minister of State for Housing and Urban Affairs, Honorable Mayor of Ahmedabad, respected Chief Secretary of Gujarat, Secretary Mahua, Principal Secretaries in the Government of Gujarat, Mr. Kevin Austin, Deputy Executive Director C40, Ms. Emilia Saiz Carasendo, Secretary General UCLG, distinguished members of the U20 Troika, delegates from G20 members, guest countries and international organizations, representatives of various Indian cities, members of the media, dear friends. It is my singular honor and privilege to address the U20 summit today, alongside the distinguished dignitaries and leaders on the days. On behalf of the G20 Sherpa and the Ministry of External Affairs, I would like to extend a very warm welcome to the delegates of the Urban 20 Mayoral Summit. I express my hearty congratulations to everyone gathered here today for successfully completing the 6th Urban 20 cycle under India's G20 presidency, as well as for providing important policy recommendations. It is also fitting that the Urban 20 Summit is being held in Gandhinagar, the capital of Gujarat, India, named after Mahatma Gandhi, and built with a harmonious blend of tradition and modernity. In my remarks, I would dwell upon the growing synergy between Urban 20 Engagement Group and the G20 official Sherpa and finance tracks. Building cities of tomorrow, including their design and financing, has emerged as a key priority area for G20 Leaders Summit. Urban areas are experiencing unprecedented growth, placing additional pressure on infrastructure and resources within cities. With land mass remaining the same, more people will be competing for lesser resources in cities that will be near about bursting at their seams, especially in developing countries. This will throw up requirements such as additional affordable housing, sustainable modes of urban transport to carry people daily from economic centers to residential centers, utilities such as power and water, and ancillary urban infrastructure. This cannot be met through government funding alone and requires private investment, including blended finance, to help scale up urban initiatives in proportion to urbanization. A quick look at the statistics. By 2030, 6 in 10 people will live in urban areas. The world cities occupy just 3% of the land, but account for 60 to 80% of energy consumption and 75% of carbon emissions. Globally, it is projected that 80% of cities worldwide lack affordable housing alternatives for the majority of their population, and that approximately 2 billion homes will be required over the next 75 years, implying that 96,000 new affordable homes must be built every day. There are 2.2 billion people without access to clean drinking water, 4.2 billion without access to adequate sanitary facilities, and 3 billion without even the most basic hand washing facilities. 40% of the world's population lacks access to clean cooking fuels, while 13% lack access to electricity. US $6.9 trillion worth of infrastructure investments would be needed annually by 2030 to meet SDGs. Under the G20 finance track, the Indian presidency this year has underlined sustainability and financial viability at the core of its infrastructure working group agenda. The 2023 IWG aims to reaffirm commitments towards modern, resilient, and inclusive infrastructure in line with the work under previous presidencies. The flagship priority of our presidency is financing cities of tomorrow, inclusive, resilient, and sustainable future as a key deliverable, including G20 principles on building livable, sustainable, resilient cities of tomorrow, a report on financing cities of tomorrow, a report on enablers of inclusive urban service delivery, and a framework on architecture for capacity building of local government bodies. For us, the U20 summit is not just a diplomatic dialogue, but a greater responsibility. The Indian subcontinent has a rich history of urban living, considering some of the earliest cities and norms for urban planning were born here since the Harappan civilizational era. For us, U20 is not only an opportunity to learn from other cities, but also share our experience about the work being done in India across all dimensions of governance, finance, planning, climate response, inclusive growth, and digital innovation. Cities have emerged as the epicenter of innovation, economic growth, and cultural diversities. They are melting pots of ideas and catalysts for progress. The U20 and G20 are growingly better aligned with each other and share priorities such as preserving cultural heritage, fostering a sense of place, promoting lifestyle for environment, mainstreaming a sustainable water management policy, and revitalizing water ecosystems. The U20 has further laid emphasis on accelerating climate ambition into action and localizing global sustainability agendas while reinventing frameworks for urban governance and planning digital futures. In their recent summit declarations, including in Rome and Bali, G20 leaders have consistently emphasized the importance of local capacity and local tradition in addressing global challenges. Strengthening local practices and economies can provide substantial benefits for long-term resilience. Thinking locally can help to leverage traditional place-specific knowledge about sustainable design and conservation practices. While we witness the explosion and expansion of modern cities, the unique cultural heritage of cities must also be preserved. In this context, I am very proud that the Government of India has demonstrated these principles in a number of city projects, be it the Central Vista redevelopment in New Delhi or the Kashi Vishwanath corridor in Varanasi. Friends, this year G20 members are working to reinvigorate, strengthen, reform and reorient multilateralism to address global challenges effectively. A multi-sectoral approach among multilateral organizations linking energy, development and climate action to deliver jobs, growth and sustainability and ensure that policy making remains people-centered is key. In conclusion, on behalf of the G20 Secretariat, I thank all dignitaries, officials and participants who have engaged with G20 and Urban 20 this year. If cities are to lead global development, then all of us share this responsibility and need to make collective efforts. I would also like to sincerely thank the State Government of Gujarat for their dynamism and support in making the U20 Summit a grand success. Thank you for this opportunity and thank you for listening to me so patiently. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We hope that U20 recommendations will enrich the G20 agenda and stand in this cycle. Thank you. And once again, I would like to mention the channels for the translation. We have channel 1 for English, channel 2 French, channel 3 Russian, channel 4 Arabic, channel 5 Spanish, channel 6 Japanese, and channel 7 Gujarati.
So moving forward, now it's time to invite our guest of honor, Shri Kaushal Kishore, Honorable Minister of State of Housing and Urban Affairs, Government of India, renowned for his exceptional leadership and visionary approach in the development of the urban sector. We request you, sir, to address all of us.
Shri Kaushal Kishore.
G20 के इस कार्यक्रम में हमारे बीच में गुजरात के लोकप्रिय मुख्यमंत्री आदरणीय माननीय श्री भूपेंद्र भाई जी पटेल जी, अर्बन डेवलपमेंट एंड हाउसिंग के सेक्रेटरी श्री मनोज जोशी जी, श्री अभय ठाकुर जी, अहमदाबाद के मेयर श्री किरीट कुमार जी परमार जी, मंच पे उपस्थित सभी महान भाव और देश विदेश से अर्बन से आए हुए हमारे सभी मेयर, शिखर सम्मेलन में आए हुए सभी देवियों, सज्जनों, आवासन और शहरी कार्य मंत्रालय भारत सरकार की ओर से और अपनी तरफ से भी, मैं गुजरात की तरफ से भी मैं आप सब लोगों का हार्दिक वंदन करता हूं, अभिनंदन करता हूं। आज मुझे जहां से काफी मेयर आए, 60 से अधिक विदेशी शहर से, 45 से अधिक विदेशी मेयर और 35 अपने देश के मेयर्स और जो भी डेलीगेट्स प्रतिनिधिगण आए हुए हैं, उनके बीच में अपनी बात रखने का जो अवसर मुझे मिला है, इससे मैं अपने को गौरवान्वित महसूस कर रहा हूं। सबसे पहले मैं भारत के प्रधानमंत्री आदरणीय नरेंद्र मोदी जी का इस G20 के आयोजन जिस तरीके से पूरे देश में कराया है, उसके लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी का अभिनंदन करता हूं, आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। और G20 का जिस तरीके से लोगों के बीच में कैसे हमारा हिंदुस्तान, भारत देश हर क्षेत्र में आगे बढ़ रहा है, उसका जिस तरीके से प्रेजेंटेशन पूरी दुनिया के बीच में करने का काम किया है, पूरी दुनिया के डेलीगेट्स के बीच में, एक बहुत ही सराहनीय कदम है और एक अच्छी तरीके से प्रेजेंटेशन करने का काम किया। इसके लिए मैं प्रधानमंत्री जी का बहुत बहुत आभार व्यक्त करता हूँ।